Regular programming will not be seen at this time in order to bring you the Virginia High School Football Championship game.
Yeah, the Virginia 3A High School Football Championship between the Mount Vernon Majors and the Kempsville Chiefs. Presented by Sports Productions Incorporated and Coca-Cola USA. Tonight's telecast is brought to you by the people who bring you delicious Coca-Cola. For big refreshment, Coke is it. And by your neighborhood 7-Eleven store, proud sponsor of the 1984 Summer Olympics. And by Hager Jeans, 100% cotton quality at a price that makes sense.
The conditions aren't ideal, but the atmosphere is, and welcome to the Virginia High School League Class 3A Championship game. I'm Mac McDonald, and this fella standing next to me, you'll recognize him when you get to hear him. All-Pro, San Francisco 49ers, North Carolina star, and also a standout at Vernon High School here in Virginia. Did you ever have to play in weather like this?
I'm sure anybody that's ever played ball has played in weather like this, especially in San Francisco, but I tell you, I'd like to say we're having fun right now, but we're freezing, aren't we?
I'm glad you're standing close to me. Great matchup today. Mount Vernon with 1 loss, Kempsville undefeated. We're going to see a great ball game today. For the Majors on defense, number 66, Ramashevsky. He's a good one.
Well, John Ramashevsky was just voted by the Washington Post the Defensive Player of the Year up there. He's an aggressive linebacker, only 5'10", 210 pounds, but he'll hit you.
The one player I'm looking forward to watching today is Frank Smith. He is the option quarterback of the Wishbone for Mount Vernon. He is a good one. He'll run the ball a lot.
He sure will. This is his last game as a man. 6'1", 185 pounds. Keeps the ball a lot more, Mac, than most Wishbone quarterbacks do. We'll see him carry the football quite often.
How do you feel overall, Ken, about the Mount Vernon offense, and can a Wishbone survive in high school play?
Well, I think the key is whether they get ahead. If they get ahead, you can survive. But, of course, both teams play ball control offenses, and I think whoever gets ahead first will cause the other team a lot of problems.
Okay, they've been talking a lot about this being a defensive struggle. For Kempsville, we're going to see a heck of a defense, too. Mount Vernon, they've got a great defense. But for Kempsville, some awfully good people.
Well, I think the defensive line is their strong point, and that's anchored by Donald Rhodes. 6'3", 225, very aggressive. Their whole defensive line, huge defensive line for high school football. They'll give anybody a lot of trouble, and they will play up and down that line of scrimmage. No assignments, but they'll make some plays for them.
As far as the offense, T.J. Morgan, whose father played under Coach Ralph Gahagan. He'll be wearing number 22. We can expect him to carry the ball maybe 35, 40 times today.
No doubt about it. He will carry the ball 35 times before the game's over, and maybe more if this rain keeps up the way it is. But T.J. Morgan, a real blue chipper. He's 125 yards away from a 2,000-yard season, good at any level of play.
Ken, I can't wait. It's going to be a good one. Mount Vernon and Kempsville for the Virginia High School League Class 3A title. We'll be back with a kickoff following this message. Ken, we get ready as Kempsville will be kicking off wearing the navy blue uniforms with white pants and going left to right, Mount Vernon right to left, and Woody Wright waits for it at the 6-yard line. And the Virginia High School League Class 3A championship game is underway. Joe Sumler may have to pick this one up off the AstroTurf. 25-yard line, tackled at the 26-yard line. And that was Joe Tinkler, who is a safety on defense, who got downfield in a hurry. And Mount Vernon will start 1st and 10 at the 27.
Well, we almost had a chance to see the rule we were just talking about, Mac. If you kick out of bounds in high school football, the other team gets the ball at their 40-yard line, and that almost occurred on that kickoff. Very wet conditions.
So Mount Vernon offense. Frank Smith is the quarterback, and he is a good one. The handoff is to Proctor. 5'7", 165-pound senior, gets about 3. And there was Larmore, a linebacker, and also Rhodes, who is a defensive end. Donald Rhodes, the guy you talked about a minute ago.
Donald Rhodes, all region and all district, and quite likely probably all Tidewater. He'll give them a real go for their money up and down that defensive line. Now you see the Mount Vernon offense.
Joe Sumler at one wide out. And Bo Francis is out to this side. And here comes Smith on the option. That is going to be Woody Wright, and he's not going to get anything. Look at the Kempsville defense and the fans right in front of us. Certainly having fun. Joe Tinkler was there, Dankmeyer, cornerback, and also Christie, an excellent outside linebacker for Kempsville.
That's a great example, Mac, of how this Kempsville team plays that option play. They do not assign the quarterback to any one ball player. Rather, they go up and down the line of scrimmage, and everybody stays on their feet.
We have an injury timeout from Foreman Field. The rain letting up just a little bit. No score as of yet. 10:47 to go in the first period. This is the first possession for Mount Vernon, coached by Bruce Patrick, who has done just a heck of a job with this team. Last year getting very, very close to the championship game. For Mount Vernon, that was Lance Dowdy.
That could hurt the Mount Vernon Majors. He goes both ways. One of 4 players from Mount Vernon to go both ways. Kempsville has no player going both ways.
He's a 218-pound junior, the left tackle. So Mount Vernon with a third down, and this is a 3rd and 7 from the 30-yard line, their own. Smith, the quarterback, wants to throw. Man open, Sumler, can't hang on. Mike Morris, the left side corner, great stick.
This is where you have a problem in a wishbone offense. It's not a passing offense. Mike Morris, not a fast guy. Here we see the fake by Smith. Now he rolls out. I thought he was a little late getting rid of this football. He had his end out there, and Mike Morris comes up and really delivers a blow.
And Morris is going to wait for the punt from Mount Vernon, and Sumler. It is not going to be all that long. It will bounce at the 45 of Kempsville, and it will roll out of bounds at the 38-yard line. And the Kempsville Chiefs will start 1st and 10. And we'll take a look at the Kempsville offense. Number 22, T.J. Morgan, is the anchor. He's the running back, a senior, 185 pounds. Coming into this game, 1,875 yards on 383 carries. He averages about 5 yards a pop.
That's a lot of times to carry the football, a lot of punishment to that body, but he looks sturdy enough to carry it.
In front of him, Troy Ramsey, the fullback, fake to Ramsey. And Gil Benham, the quarterback, is going to be sacked and lose about 8. There was Neil Hamilton, the right side defensive end.
And that was a mess up there back in the Kempsville backfield. I think Gil Benham was looking for T.J. Morgan. We see the start of the snap. Looks like he was supposed to get the ball actually to the fullback, Ramsey. Now, Ramsey's only carried the ball 9 times all year in 13 ball games. So if it was Ramsey's mistake, he could probably be pardoned for that. He's not used to getting the football.
It's going to be 2nd down and 15, and the football at the 33-yard line for the Kempsville Chiefs. Jeff Fowler, flanker, is out to this side. Benham hit behind the line, but he gets away across the 35 to the 37. The football is fumbled. It is picked up. And Mount Vernon with Mike Gant coming up with the football, and a major break. Boy, turnovers could play an important role.
Well, this is going to be a turnover game, unfortunately. Here we see the fake to Morgan. Now Benham gets away and makes a good run here. Simply a good hit. And there's the pickup by Gant. Mike Gant's very unusual. He plays offensive guard and defensive back. We have him listed as number 17. Today wearing number 15. Will wear number 52.
There's the handoff. Second man through, and that is Woody Wright, who's a tailback. Donald Rhodes, left defensive end, made the tackle. He picked up about 4. It'll be 2nd down and about 6. No score as of yet. We're in the 8:58 mark of the first quarter. 3A championship game from Foreman Field.
Well, as a wishbone team, these are the breaks you're looking for. You just want to keep hammering away, and it gets rather monotonous, but they keep looking to go to that goal line.
Football at the 27 between the hash marks. You see the wishbone. Exciting offense to watch. Smith, the quarterback, looks, has got Francis, can't hang on, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. Pretty good coverage, too, by the Kempsville defense. Again, Mike Morris, who had the big stick a moment ago.
Well, when you're running that football a lot, those linebackers are committing. You can see the hole there, and he just looks up, and Bo Francis just does not catch the football, but that 6-6, or the six-man line, rather, of Kempsville is very vulnerable.
Ken, I would think that gloves on a day like today might even make the football more slippery.
I have never understood how anybody could wear the gloves and catch the football.
Well, a big third down. And the give, big hole. That is Tom Horn, the fullback, and he's got the first down. And that's going to be marked at the 7-yard line before Joe Tinkler, the safety, saved the touchdown. Big, big hole.
Here's a give to Tom Horn. They have him listed at only 6 foot, but he looks bigger than 185. He gets him a little speed up, and he goes through the defensive backfield. Morris misses a tackle, and finally little Joe Tinkler, who will hit you, comes up and makes a tackle.
Tom Horn has only scored 1 touchdown this season. And this will be a 1st and goal from the 7 for Mount Vernon. The give, second man through, the tailback lead, Proctor. And Proctor gets a couple. There was Peters. That is Steve Peters, a defensive tackle, a 195-pound senior who got to him. Gain of a couple. It'll be second. And let's say about 6.5, maybe only about a half-yard, Kent.
Well, this whole defensive line of Kempsville, really, they're all district or all region. You can't say too many good things about them because they're all over the field. Now, Schwarzentroober's in there right now. Normally an offensive tackle. He will play defense on a goal line situation.
Frank Smith, the quarterback, will keep. Kempsville had it red. There was Mott, Grant Mott, a right defensive end. And also Catalano, Pete Catalano, an outside linebacker in that 4-4 lineman.
We're going to see a lot of mistakes here. He gets caught there. He gets his feet caught. And Frank Smith, who can run the football, Pete Catalano gets out and makes a great play. And, of course, Neil Mott coming in to help out.
It'll be a 3rd down in 4-down territory, certainly. First threat of the game, first quarter, no score. Mount Vernon trying to capitalize on a fumble. Bo Francis is split wide right. Smith wants to look for him. The lob, Francis can't get to it. Bo Francis, since we said something, I don't know if he heard us, Ken, but he doesn't have the gloves on anymore.
I tell you, if I'm a coach, I'm going to tell him to get those gloves off. And I think you're right, Mac. I can never see where the gloves do you any good. And unless they've developed something in the last couple of years that I'm not aware of. But the Wishbone team has trouble throwing the football. They're not a throwing team, and normally they have a problem.
John Gould will try. A 27-yard field goal, snap back, ball down, and it is up. It is good. So Mount Vernon with first blood, the 6:45 mark of the first quarter, 3-0 in the State 3A championship game. And Mount Vernon has a 3-0 lead, and John Gould gets his 3rd field goal of the 1983 season. How important do you think in a game like this, Ken, to get the lead early like that? Capitalize on a fumble.
Oh, I think it's very important, and I think we're going to see a lot of, unfortunately, we're going to see a lot of plays, both good or bad, depending on whose side you're on, but it's that type of feel right now. This is a very unusual kicking situation. They've got the ball laying down. Unless they do something different, this is unusual.
No tee, and it's going to be squibbed, bobbled, and picked up by Morris at the 37-yard line, a 7-yard return.
I don't believe I've ever seen the ball lined up exactly that way, but that ball was lined up with the point facing the kicker. He kicked it right on the end. I would think in these conditions you'd want to keep the Kempsville Ball Club as far down in their own territory as they could. That was a very unusual play. A 7-yard punt, kickoff.
That's it was a 7-yard return, and the kick did not travel.
Well, it was almost a 7-yard kick.
That's right, about 30 yards, can you really? The officials today, by the way, from the Richmond area, Charlie Crow is a referee, Bob Duncan the umpire, Charlie Fagan the head linesman, the line judge is Irv Taylor, and Jeff Buck is the back judge, and they are certainly getting wet today. But it's a 3-0 Mount Vernon lead with 6:36 to play in the first quarter on the Gould field goal.
They just burned a timeout. Kempsville took a timeout. They had an equipment problem with Merlin Schwarzentroober, and they burned one of their timeouts, which could prove costly to them. And this is really, I'd say, at this stage in the ball game, you don't want to take one of your 3 timeouts to use on fixing a helmet.
It's So Kempsville, second time they've had the football. Ralph Gahagan, his 5th year at the helm, 40-11-1, his 32nd year of coaching overall. A very laid-back, shall we say, coach. But the Kempsville offense, led by Gil Benham at quarterback, Ramsey and T.J. Morgan in the backfield. It's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Morgan fumbles, look out. Mount Vernon has got it. Picked up by Hamilton, the defensive end, and Mount Vernon with its 2nd turnover at the 25 as Gil Benham coughed it up, and Neil Hamilton, the defensive end, was right on top of it.
Not much you can say about it. He was hit hard. T.J. Morgan does not fumble that ball very much. Just a simple give. The lead by Ramsey. He's hit. At that point, the ball is coughed up. He was hit by Sean Scott. There's Neil Hamilton, very opportunistically picking the ball up, and he looked like he could run the football. Now it was Sean Scott. I said earlier that Hermashevsky was Metro Player of the Year. It was actually Sean Scott. This morning's paper was wrong.
He is a good one. So the handoff, first of all, for Mount Vernon starting this drive at the 25, and it was Lee Proctor, and he's going to get a couple. It'll be 2nd down. We'll call it about 8.5. A 3-0 Mount Vernon lead. We're at the 5:57 mark of the first quarter. A rainy, cold day.
Don't think for one moment that Kempsville Ball Club is discouraged, because they'll keep coming after the whole game. They've been behind before.
2nd and 8 at the 23 officially. Again, the wishbone. Wide receiver right is Francis. Smith on the keeper. Inside the 20 to the 14. And he'll be very close to a 1st down. I think he's got it. Joe Tinkler, the safety, was the guy to hit him on a good one-on-one tackle, but I think he's got the 1st down.
Well, Frank Smith makes this ball club go, and he does run the football more than most wishbone quarterbacks. And again, you see the people floating. Donald Rhodes is fooled right there. They box off inside, and Frank Smith uses that running ability to cut back. Little Joe Tinkler's only 5'9", 158 pounds, but he'll sell out on you.
3rd down and less than a foot. Inside the 15-yard line for the Majors with a 3-0 lead. 2nd man through, Woody Wright, the tailback, and he's got the 1st down just following his blocking from the right side. Steve Peters and Tim Freeman, the defensive tackles, pinched to the middle to make it. But Mount Vernon has got the 1st down as they try to capitalize on another Kempsville mistake. 2 fumbles by the Chiefs. Only 3 points they've given up so far, but the Majors are moving again.
It's really incredible, Mac. You look at a wishbone team or really a tailback team, and you don't think they're picking up that many yards, and pretty soon they're eating their way up down the field.
Frank Smith, the senior, with the wishbone again. Francis is to the right side. To the outside, Woody Wright. And he'll get a couple. Rob Larmore, an outside linebacker, stayed with the play and got to the outside. Lee Proctor.
Lee Proctor, a great runner. Now, Frank Smith can run this play very well. Likes to keep the ball. Watch the Kempsville defensive line. You've got Larmore out there and Donald Rhodes. They're float all the way down with them. Very, very fine defensive technique. They won't make many mistakes on that option, and I think Smith will have trouble running it against them.
It'll be 2nd and 8. Mount Vernon can get a 1st down without getting the touchdown. The 1-yard line is the 1st down marker. The give is to Tom Horn, the fullback, inside the 5-yard line. Pete Catalano, an outside linebacker, pinching towards the middle. And I think he was the first Chief to make the contact. The Majors have a 3-0 lead. And as we said, trying to capitalize on the 2nd Kempsville fumble of the afternoon. 3:34 to go in the first quarter.
Mount Vernon getting a little bit of a break. Looked like they might have fumbled that football. It was called down at about the 6-yard line.
Mike Gann is going to line up as a tight end on the left side. Sumler is wide right. Smith on the keeper. Look out. Touchdown. Frank Smith made it look awfully easy, Ken.
Well, he keeps pecking away at you. They don't, not much changes from play to play. Frank Smith goes with that fake, comes back away from the split receiver, and just ducks right in there. Here we see he comes away from his split receiver, going to the weak side, fakes to his fullback, right down the line of scrimmage. They get a good block there on number 23. The defensive player for Kempsville, and Frank Smith, that was Warren Christie. Kempsville is taken out of position. Frank Smith walks in.
And Gould for the point after touchdown, a 9-0 Major lead early in the first quarter. The snap is good, so is the kick. It's now 10-0 Mount Vernon in the Virginia 3A championship football game from Norfolk. Will continue after this. minutes and 15 seconds first quarter. And Mount Vernon with a 10-0 lead over Kempsville. The scoring drive, 25 yards, 6 plays, taking about 3 minutes and 5 seconds. And right now, the Major's controlling it, Ken, and I would say Kempsville and Coach Cahagan got to be a little concerned, trying to get the momentum back. We, as broadcasters, overuse that word maybe, momentum, but that's exactly what's happening. We're going to see the crazy kick again by John Gould.
If we can see that ball, we see that it's the kicker. Now, Gould's going to kick that ball right on the end. I don't exactly understand the strategy behind it, but who's to say they're wrong?
One of the up men for Kempsville picks it up, trying to find a hole. And finally, Troy Ramsey was wrapped up by Charlie McRae. So it'll be 1st and 10 Kempsville, and again, good field position. Ken, I'm surprised. We used to do it in our neighborhood all the time like that. The ground was too hard to make a tee, and we couldn't afford one.
Well, that ball's awfully tough, but I want to tell you, that was a 29-yard kick, and I've got to believe that that's going to hurt you eventually if you keep giving Kempsville that type of field position.
Kempsville on offense. They trail 10-0. The drive will start at the 39-yard line. The tailback, Morgan, tucks it this time and gets about 5. I think they'll give him 5 to the 44-yard line as Scott Dorman, a cornerback, came up to make the good tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Chiefs with 2:41 to go in the first quarter.
Now, this may look familiar to you by the end of this ball game because T.J. Morgan's going to run that football, and they're going to keep giving it to him, and they're going to make Mount Vernon stop him.
2nd down and about 5 from the 40. Morgan again. The hole was not there this time. Closed quickly. Only a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 3. And there was Rick Goolsby, an inside backer, a 70-pound junior. And I believe he was the first one to make contact. Also, Terrell Wilson, a backup right tackle for Kempsville. 3rd down and a long 3. Football at the 46.
I watched them practice. I watched Kempsville practice on Tuesday, and they plan to hit the tight end. They've got 2 good tight ends in Scott Whittier and Bruce Cinnaball, and I would not be surprised. But they also run quite a bit on 3rd down.
T.J. Morgan again off tackle, big hole. T.J. Morgan to the outside, look out, 40-yard line, and out of bounds at the 30. T.J. Morgan broke it.
He can run the football. He makes it great here. Just a lead. Troy Ramsey. They hand off to Ramsey. Now he gets up into the line of scrimmage. Schwarzenhuber gives him a good block. And there's Ramsey still working with him. He gets Sumler to start chasing him. And I think T.J. kind of lost track of exactly where he was on the field because he had a man coming in front of him. And there he is out of bounds.
Ball officially marked at the 31 of Mount Vernon. A 23-yard gain for T.J. Morgan. The workhorse again. He will try to cut it back. Doing. Kempsville on top of him, and there was Joe Briggs. Or I should say Mount Vernon on top of him, not Joe Briggs, but Gant. Gant on top of him.
Mike Gant, that very unusual ball player. Now, T.J. Morgan has made a decision. Now, he decides to change his mind. Now, Neil Hamilton's right in front of him. Now, watch this play by Mike Gant. That's a big league play. Comes through there with all the blocking in front of Morgan, strips him, and brings him down. Ill-advised move by T.J. Morgan.
2nd down, 18 with a loss of 8. And the football back to the 39-yard line of Mount Vernon with 1 minute exactly left to go in the first quarter. Kempsville trying to get back. They trail 10-0. Benham, the keeper. Benham, a couple, and he had a man wide open down the near sideline. John Romashevsky, the linebacker, was the one to make the stop. And only a couple. It'll be 3rd down and about 16.
Gil Benham would like to have that ball back. I've never seen in my life. Joe Briggs was actually 20 yards behind anybody, and Gil Benham never saw him.
Nobody covered him.
They were going to work all week on trying to hit a deep outside pattern to the sidelines. And Joe Briggs ran it, was wide open, was seen.
A 3rd down and 15 for Kempsville. The Chiefs on a reverse. This is Jeff Fout, and Fout won't get anything. He will lose about 8. Scott Zimmerman, a cornerback, stayed at home and read the play. And Mount Vernon's defense continues to play very well here in the first quarter with only about 4 seconds left to go.
We're coming around, and here comes Jeff Fout. Now, the interesting story is Scott Zimmerman was on the Cox team last year here in the Beach District, And he knows a lot of these guys. He went up to Mount Vernon and winds up in the state finals playing for the Mount Vernon Majors. He's probably a little bit more fired up than you would normally be.
Punting situation for the Chiefs. Cinnabon can kick the air out of it. He was nailing 50-yarders at his 4 seconds left to go, opening quarter. Snap, a little long getting back there, and he aims for the corner. Dies at the 5 and gets in the end zone. Touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 when we come back in the second quarter, as Mount Vernon, with a John Gould field goal of 27 yards and a Frank Smith 6-yard touchdown, has taken a 10-0 lead in the 3A championship game. And Foreman Field, Mount Vernon leading 10-0 over Kempsville in the Class 3A championship game. Mount Vernon with a 1st and 10, now moving left to right. And they have it at the 20-yard line following the punt by Cinnabon of Kempsville. The wishbone again, directed by Frank Smith. Sumler, a wide receiver to the other side. Nothing developed. Woody Wright, the tailback, had nowhere to go. Rob Lawmore, an outside linebacker, combining with Bob Davis. It'll be 2nd down and about 8. He got about 2, Ken.
Both of these clubs have great linebackers. Matt Leeds, of course, was 2nd team All-District, All Beach District, and Bob Davis was All-District. And not big guys, 6'1", 202 for Davis and 5'10", 178 for Leeds, but Leeds will hit you.
Mount Vernon had 53 yards rushing in the first quarter on 13 running plays. The wishbone again, Smith. To the outside. Kempsville was there by Grant Mott, the right side defensive end, and nobody touched him. Boy, he just got to the outside in a hurry.
We made note of the fact that there were 4 players on the Mount Vernon team that went both ways. Here we see Smith with the fake. He'll do this all game. And again, Schwarzentroober, who's been in there on defense lately. Great play down the line of scrimmage by Grant Mott. I'll call him Grant instead of Neil this time and make it happy.
Mount Vernon protecting a 10-0 lead. We're in the second quarter. 10:47 to play. It is a 3rd down, and let's call it 6 from the 22-yard line. Smith to throw. Man open, Sumler. He's got it. Penalty marker down, complete to the 41-yard line. And it might be defensive interference anyway.
Well, it is defensive interference, and I will say that Mike Morris is a great player, and he'd like to have that one back. Again, I said early in the broadcast that it's very tough to throw off the wishbone. Now, Mount Vernon's not making it look that way, but Mike Morris doesn't make his greatest effort after that football and actually gets a flag thrown after him. If he'd have gone through the man, he probably would have broken up the pass or maybe had an interception. That was their 4th conversion of a 3rd down attempt. 4 for 6 attempts today.
14-yard pass play, and the football at the 41-yard line, and it is a 1st and 10 for Mount Vernon. Just across the 40-yard line. 4 first downs for the Majors. They have a 10-0 lead. And the offense seeming to, at times, confuse the Kempsville defense. Somewhere open over the middle. Good stick, but it's good for 8 yards. Joe Tinkler, the safety, nailed him with the waist-high tackle, but they're concentrated on the football and they're going to give him 9 to the 49-yard line. It'll be 2nd and short.
Joe Sumler, a little guy, 5'9", 150. Now, Frank Smith is coveted by many colleges. He can throw the football. This is where that 6-man line is vulnerable. And the little slant patterns, the quick patterns right across the middle.
2nd down and less than a yard. 49-yard line for the Majors from the bone. 2nd man to get it was Proctor, and he's got the front, a gain of 3 to Kempsville territory. And Schwarzentroober, who's in now, the backup defensive tackle, made the hit. By the way, Kenny, announcers for today's telecast, hired by Sports Productions Incorporated and approved by the Virginia High School League. Any rebroadcast or other use of the pictures or accounts of this telecast without the express written permission of Sports Productions Incorporated or the Virginia High School League is prohibited. We are now official.
I think that's great. And I thank both organizations for giving Virginia a chance to see this game on TV.
You bet. Great display of high school talent. 47-yard line, Smith. nowhere to go. Ran into his own man, but Kempsville closed quickly. They're going to give him about a yard or two. There was Peters, Steve Peters, a defensive tackle. He stayed with the play and read it pretty well. Also, Matt Leeds, an inside linebacker, gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 to the Kempsville 46-yard line.
Mac, you questioned that Mount Vernon's not panicking very much. They know if they don't pick up very many yards on that first down that Frank Smith has had an uncanny ability to convert on 3rd down. They keep coming back with the same plays.
It's been their strongest down, you're right. The Majors have a 10-0 lead. We're in the 2nd period. Sumler, wide receiver. Smith looking for him. He is wide open. And Smith couldn't get him the football. Boy, Kempsville, Peters was the first one to get him. Steve Peters, along with Donald Rhodes, the left side defensive end. And I think Frank Smith waited a little too long.
I think Frank Smith did. Now, here we're running a little, he's going to fake the slant pattern. Now, I want to tell you, Joe Sumler is gone.
He's wide open.
Of course, Steve Peters gets in there, crosses him up. There's Schwarzentrooper and there's Don Rhodes. Believe me, with Schwarzentrooper in there at 253 pounds, you've got a massive humanity in there in defensive line.
You really didn't get a chance to see it, Kenny, but take our word for it. He was open by 10 yards.
I would say he was very open.
All right, 3rd and 14. And the football at the 49 of Mount Vernon. Passing situation. Smith flares it out. Woody Wright trapped. The junior had no place to go. Again, Kempsville's Pete Catalano saw the play coming, and nobody got to him. And it'll be a punting situation from 4th and about 14 yards.
You can tell this Kempsville defensive line is very well coached. I continue to say it, and I don't want to wear the point out, but I'm very impressed with the way they move down the line of scrimmage, and I don't think there's much opportunity there to get outside of it. Sumler does a little bit of everything, doesn't he?
Yep. And he's going to get it away at about the 35. Morris is going to wait for it. Low driving kick, but Morris will take it 10-yard line. Morris dances, falls, 14-yard line. So with 6:58 left to go in the first quarter and Mount Vernon leading by 10, we'll be back to the Virginia 3A championship game from Norfolk after this. 10-0 Mount Vernon leading, 58 to go. We're in the 2nd quarter. The rain continues to fall. And it's Kempsville football. 1st and 10 at the 14. Benham, the quarterback. T.J. Morgan shakes free from one man and somehow gets about 3. Bill Brady, the left tackle. Got to him.
That's a big defensive line also for Mount Vernon. T.J. Morgan right there. They have him listed at 6 foot, 185 pounds. And Mac, I tell you, if he's 6 foot, I'm 6'10". He couldn't be over 5'10", but he's a very stockily built guy and very quick.
Morgan reminds me a lot of Tommy Vigorito, the Miami Dolphins. He does not assume to be that fast, doesn't appear to be that fast or quick, but he just somehow gets the job done. Benham will keep this time. Benham fights to the 20-yard line. He'll be short of the first down by about 3. He'll get about 4. And there was Remashevsky again. I believe Lance Doty. Did I see his number on that tackle? Bill Brady, one of the tackles in the area. It'll be 3rd down for Kempsville.
In my opinion, Gil Benham can throw that football, and I think that Kempsville's got to take a little bit more use, or make a little bit more use out of his ability, because he can wing it.
This might be the play here. Joe Briggs is wide right, and it's a 3rd down and 4 from the 20-yard line. Benham rolls. Has got Briggs open, but instead goes short, overthrown, almost in a...
Well, I didn't mean to put a hex on him. That was a poorly thrown football. And I'm not sure whether the ball slipped out of his hands. This is a little roll play. He's trying to hit his tight end now. Underneath. He rolls out. He's left-handed. He's got to turn. And let's see if the ball slips out.
I think it did.
It looked like it slipped a little bit. That was almost an interception.
But you're right. He was trying to hit Centerbook, and Briggs was open on an out pattern about 10 yards downfield. And I thought maybe Benham would be looking for Briggs, but he did not. So,
now excuse me, Mac, they played 13 ball games, and coming into today's ball game, I think they had 500 and some yards passing. So you can tell that they don't throw the football a whole lot. In fact, that outside receiver lives a lonely life.
5:42 to go, 2nd quarter, and Mount Vernon with a 10-0 lead, and Centerbook has kicked a beauty. Fair catch called for, And it'll be 1st and 10 Vernon. And it'll start at the 38-yard line. Nice kick by Centerbolt. That was a 43-yard punt.
That was a beautiful punt. And of course, the fans here not exactly enjoying it as much as they would have yesterday. Mac, a beautiful day. Started getting a little overcast yesterday afternoon. And of course, it started raining last night, and it has never let up.
Mount Vernon will have it 1st and 10. And it will start at the 38-yard line. 5.5 minutes to go in the first period. Don Gould 27-yard field goal and a Frank Smith 6-yard touchdown run. And that's been it for Mount Vernon in the first quarter, capitalizing on 2 fumbles. Frank Smith, the quarterback. First man through, the fullback, Tom Horn. And there was the Kempsville defense, Schwartzentruber, leading the way along with Freeman and Peters. Watch this defensive surge here, Ken.
That whole defensive line, Peters, Freeman, every one of them back up in there. There's Schwartzentruber going both ways now. They're an awesome-looking group of people.
Football just shy of the 40. 2nd down, 9. They gave him a yard somehow on that play. Smith with a wide receiver left. Again, nothing. The defense surge led by Matt Leeds, an inside linebacker. Tom got the call again and got only a couple. It'll be 3rd down. And let's call it about 7 here.
This Kempsville defense is very impressive. Matt Leeds, they have him listed in the program at 5'10", 178 pounds. He's a senior. Boy, he comes up and really delivers a blow. There's Steve Peters again. He was also in there. The whole defensive line, they're really coming after him.
The favorite play of Mount Vernon so far in this game, the 3rd. Wide receiver left. And a tight end on the right side. And Smith wants to put it up. Sumler is open. Incomplete. At the 45-yard line of Kempsville, there was Pete Catalano, who made the great play with the right hand.
Pete Catalano, really an outside linebacker. If you talk about the 6-man line, he really is a defensive end. But Frank Smith, not afraid to throw that ball and gets some good spin on it. He puts it out there, he just flicks it. There's Pete Catalano, look at the dive.
That pass is actually well thrown. That's right on the numbers, but Catalano made a good defensive play.
A super throw.
Sumler the punt. End over end will not turn over. It will bounce, and it will be picked up at the 22-yard line. 25, 30, penalty flag down, 40, 50-yard line. Mike Morris to the 30. Nobody will touch him, but penalty flags are everywhere, and it will not count. I don't think.
It's a clip. Mike Morris, that's his 5th run back this year for a touchdown. Of course, it will not count. The first 3 times he touched the football on a punt return. Here's Mike Morris catching the ball, fielding it, starting right. Now they're setting up the wall. Now the clip is coming right here. We don't really get a good look at it, but Mike Morris, he's been there before, cuts back, getting a lot of help from Dank, who's coming up, all of the Kempsville players coming to help out. Too bad.
It might have been Neil Hamilton, but we're not sure. I'm not sure if it was 83 or not, but a 36-yard punt by Sumler, and a Mount Vernon player is down across the way.
Well, the first 3 times, as I said earlier, that Mike Morris fielded a punt was against Cox High School this year. He ran the first 3 back for touchdowns, and he ran another one back the next game, his 4th of the year. So he's got 4 for the year, and it looked like history was repeating itself, but unfortunately, I didn't have 2 clips on that one.
Neil Hamilton got helped off for Mount Vernon, and he was the one that I think received the blow on the backside. So 10-0 Mount Vernon. Kempsville will start in a hole, 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. And Gant, again, making a pretty nice move. It'll be 2nd down and about 5.
I would imagine Mike Gant gets a little tired toward the end of the day. 5'11", 170, listed as a backup offensive guard. He's also supposed to start as a wide receiver, probably a tight end in their offense because Joe Sumler is playing the split receiver.
2nd down and 5 for the Kempsville Chiefs here with 3:18 to go in the second quarter. The pitch coming Morgan's way. They're trying to get him open on the outside. And coming up with Scott Zimmerman, the cornerback, who again stayed at home, had nobody to cover. And he just read and stayed with the play. Rashevsky, the linebacker, was also there, along with William Hinshaw, who was a backup defensive end.
Now watch the big guard, Rob Hicks. All district, all region. He gets out in front of TJ. Now you get the impression that it's only a matter of time before they start breaking these. These guys can get out and run, and they will hit somebody.
It'll be 3rd down and 2 from the 22-yard line for Kempsville with 2:43 to go before halftime. And I would say this is a pretty big 3rd down here for the Chiefs to try to keep it. Morgan will have the first down of the 25-yard line. He was collared by Sean Scott, the senior, the 197 all-everything. And it will be a first down for the Chiefs, and that was a big one with 2:33 to play in the second quarter.
Well, it's a big play, but you've got to do something else at this point when you're 10 points down. Here's the little pitch to Morgan. Of course, he gets those big guys out in front of him. Sean Scott has said before, Metro Player of the Year in Washington, very tough kid. Got to put the ball, try to put some points on the board before halftime.
25-yard line, first down. Pitch, Morgan, opening, 30-yard line, falls down at the 36. Will get 6. John Rashevsky, the linebacker again, making the tackle for Mount Vernon. Also Chris Anderson, a defensive end in the neighborhood. And it'll be a gain of 6, Kenny, and 2nd down and 4.
This is Kempsville's type of offense. They love to control that football around up the field, but a minute 53 seconds, you can't run that football up and down the field. You're going to have to throw it at some point.
Joe Briggs, a wide receiver to the right side. Benham will go with the pitch. Again, Morgan. He's going to be hit and dropped by Bill Brady, the left tackle, who stayed at the line of scrimmage, fought off his block, and the outside. So it'll be a 3rd down call at the 30-yard line for the Chiefs of Kempsville.
Well, the most dangerous place you can put this football, and of course the place where you can get the most yards is down the middle. Everybody wants to hit the sidelines, but if you need the big play late in the ball game, down the middle is where you're going to get it. They're going to be protecting to the outside.
Jeff Fout, a flanker, wide receiver, will split to the near side. A 3rd down and 5 for Benham. Bobbles it. Benham may turn a broken play into a first down. He won't get it. He'll be a couple of yards short. And coming up was Charles McCray. Charles McCray, a backup corner. Had a good little effort there. It's going to be 4th and about a yard. Neil Hamilton, a defensive end, was also there. Play coming in from Joe Briggs.
Joe Benham, a smart, good-looking kid, can run the football. 40-some seconds left, going to half. You get the impression that they're not going for the points at this point. They're going in to talk it over at halftime.
35 seconds, clock running second quarter. The Majors with a 10-0 lead. And a 4th down and a yard. Long count by Benham. He calls the timeout, and a penalty marker drops. It may be delay a game. It is against Kempsville. They were just trying to run the clock down and take it away from Mount Vernon.
Well, they were trying to get him to jump, trying to catch the first down the easy way. I'm not sure that this is a time to do that, but they've been very successful all year doing the same thing. So going to have to adjust to this type of offense. This Mount Vernon team is a strong team, and they're going to have to put the ball up.
Kempsville, with 23 seconds left, will be punting it away. Kempsville was first in the final Tidewater poll, 2nd in the state poll. Mount Vernon was not ranked in the final state poll. Kempsville got by beating Hopewell 13-6, and Mount Vernon beat Pulaski 28-21 in the state semifinal, and very exciting contest. Cinnabok, the punt, end over end and short. He was roughed. Penalty flag has been dropped, and it'll be an automatic first down for Kempsville with 13 seconds left to go. As he was dropped to the carpet, roughing the kicker to call against Mount Vernon. The Chiefs get a break.
Not a very smart play on the Mount Vernon player's part, especially with 15 seconds to go in the game. Although he might have figured that what harm could he do at that point. Kempsville was not making an effort to score, so we'll see one more play and that's it.
The Majors have a 10-0 lead in the first quarter. John Gould, a 27-yard field goal, and Frank Smith, a 6-yard touchdown run. Both scores coming after Kempsville fumbled the football in their territory. 13 seconds remaining. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. And 44. Hail Mary time, maybe. Benham looking. Over the middle, Cinnabok. Intercepted by Mount Vernon. And there was Scott Dorman, the defensive back, the cornerback, stepping right in front of the pass. And that's the 3rd Kempsville turnover in the first half.
Well, no harm here. Here we're rolling out. He's sprinting toward, of course, toward his left. He is left-handed, which helps him at this time. He really does not throw a good pass. He leaves it hanging. Cinnabok just right behind him.
Pretty good play by Scott Dorman. And that's going to be the end of the first half, the Virginia 3A championship game. And it's a 10-0 advantage for Mount Vernon. And we'll be back to Foreman Field in Norfolk. Stay with us. It is halftime from Foreman Field in Norfolk, and Mount Vernon with a 10-0 lead over the Kempsville Chiefs in the 3A championship game. And today's halftime activities brought to you by your neighborhood 7-Eleven, proud supporter of the Olympics and high school sports. We had a chance to visit with two officials of the Virginia High School League, a very important part, of course, of state activities in the state, Harry Blevins and Earl Gillespie. This is how that interview went.
The kids are getting ready. Yeah, they're ready.
To my right is Harry Blevins, the chairman of the Virginia High School League and principal of Great Bridge High School. To my left, Earl Gillespie, the assistant executive secretary of the Virginia High School League. Harry, what is the Virginia High School League all about?
Well, Mac, it's the members of the Virginia High School League made up of all the high schools in the state of Virginia, 286 member schools, to come together for the purpose of governing and setting policy to administer athletics and other activities, including debate and forensics, publications, including student newspapers, magazines, and yearbook, drama. And we do that through a staff of 5 employees that work out of the University of Virginia under the direction of Mr. Bill Pace, the executive secretary. He receives his direction and policies through the executive, which meets 5 times a year. The executive committee is made up of principals, members of the State Department of Education, superintendents, school board members, athletic directors. And of course the league is governed by the Legislative Council, which is made up of all the member schools, each member school having a vote for setting rules and policies that govern the league.
Well, of course, the Virginia High School League football playoffs, a very important part of the Virginia High School League.
Mac, this game is part of our 14th year of playoffs involving championship games decided on the field in all 3 of our classifications. We played over 450 games in the playoff series, and this is the first game that will be seen in all 100 counties in the state. We played from the eastern shore to the far southwest, from Danville on the North Carolina border to Fairfax in northern Virginia. But this over 2 million people have seen these games during this period. But more importantly, I think, we've had over 300,000 athletes who participated in our program. The 3 championships that are played today is the climax of the season for our 275 football-playing schools. They started in the heat of August with one goal in mind, and that's to achieve the state championship. But we believe that regardless of the scores today, whoever wins, all of these young men are winners because they've achieved the goals of athletics, teamwork, self-sacrifice, discipline, a sense of fair play, and a spirit of good sport.
Well, I'd like to thank you gentlemen very much. For Earl Gillespie, Assistant Executive Secretary of the Virginia High School League, and Harry Blevins, the league chairman and also principal of Great Bridge, I say thanks to them and the Virginia High School League. 10-0, Mount Vernon with the lead. And today's halftime activities brought to you by your neighborhood 7-Eleven. Let's enjoy now the Mount Vernon Marching Majors under the direction of Stanley R. Schooner. Athlete
is very it's really a pleasure for us to be in today's game.
Not in Virginia, but really all over the country.
Very true. Additionally, has been in state's history, particularly with the Hillman Award in the United States.
Ed White of high school athletics.
You probably know Ice Blood is being involved with school students and been very good for Coca-Cola.
On the Virginia High School League, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Washington, Vice President and Development in the Mid-Atlantic, Washington, D.C. The lead on Vernonville and now the Kempsville and takes over. The chance to enjoy more of our half from Foreman Field in the Chiefs under the direction of Ron Scott, and a job well done. Mount Vernon with a 10-0 lead in the 3A championship game from Norfolk and Foreman Field, and we'll be back with more halftime activities following this commercial message. Halftime from Foreman Field in Norfolk, and Mount Vernon with a 10-0 lead. Virginia High have produced numerous individuals who have had outstanding collegiate and professional careers. You know, in the state of Virginia right now, there are 17 former Virginia high school athletes in the NFL. Earlier this week, we talked with one such pro, Dallas Cowboys running back Ron Springs. Ron talks about his high school experience in this Coca-Cola halftime feature. That's great. Ron Springs, one of the great ones in the state. People like Eric Sievers, Lloyd Burris, Stuart Anderson, Russ Davis, Amos Lawrence, Ken Easley, Lawrence Taylor. Many, including Ken Willard, who was with the 49ers for so many years in that great career of his, former North Carolina running back. Ken, we've seen a pretty good one. Before we talk about it, let me remind folks, today's game being brought to you by the people who bring you delicious Coca-Cola for big refreshment. Coke is it. By your neighborhood 7-Eleven store, proud sponsor of the 1984 Summer Olympics. And by Hager Jeans, 100% cotton quality at a price that makes sense. 10-0 Mount Vernon with the lead, and Kempsville will get a chance to get its hands on a football. And Ken, what do you feel the Chiefs have to do in the second half?
I really don't think they have to make many changes of what they started to do at the beginning of the ball game. Come out, this hold on to the football. They've got a great back in there in T.J. Morgan. I think they'll come out and start trying to establish, take control of this ball game, and I think they're very capable of doing it.
T.J. Morgan is going to stand at the 6, and now with the kicking tee, Gould is going to put the football again on its belly.
Well, he's kind of inclined it a little bit more upward, but I don't know whether they're going to go for a 25 or 30-yard kick this time, but it is a very confusing way to kick the football.
So here it comes in the second half underway, and again, more or less a scrub kick. They don't want T.J. Morgan to handle it. It's that simple. And Troy Ramsey has picked it up again. Neil Hamilton on the tackle for Mount Vernon. And we get underway in a second period. 10-0, the lead to Mount Vernon. The Kempsville offense run by Gil Benham, the quarterback. Ramsey and Morgan, the running backs. Cinnabulk is a tight end. He'll go to the left this time. Scott Whittier on the right side. The I formation. Definite running set for Benham and company for Kempsville. 1st and 10 at the 40-foot. And T.J. Morgan gets about 2. As there was Sean Scott, the nose guard for Mount Vernon, along with Lance Doty and Bill Brady. The 2 tackles pinching towards the middle. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Somehow I get the impression that Mount Vernon doesn't know that Kempsville is supposed to control the scrimmage. Those guys get in there and scrap. Brady and Scott have been in there the whole ball game. And, of course, Lance Doty, who does double duty, also doing his part to jam it up.
From the 44. Morgan wrapped up behind the line by Bill Brady, the left tackle. What a good shoulder pad high hit that was. Scott Dorman, the cornerback, was coming in a hurry, too. The corners are not even worried about the pass. They're just cover the run and get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they haven't shown the pass all year. Now, this is a great play by Sean Scott, that whole middle. Brady, Scott, what tremendous penetration. No chance for T.J. Morgan to do anything.
It's a loss of 2. And it's back to the 42, and it's 3rd down and 10. Benham to give Morgan, off tackle. On a 3rd down call, he does not get it. He gets only about 5 across the 45 to the 47 line. And there was Scott Zimmerman, a cornerback for Mount Vernon, as the Majors have a 10-0 lead. The 10 points coming in the first quarter. A John Gould field goal and a Frank Smith touchdown, his 17th of 1983.
Boy, if you can ever take a chance at throwing that football, you're in perfect position to throw the football. You're really at your own 40, 45-yard line, and that's the time to put it up if you're going to take a chance.
Cinnabulk will have to punt it away, standing at his 33, and he's blocked. Picked up at the 25. And Mount Vernon with just a king-size break, and what a defensive play. They had it covered well, and Mike Gant of Mount Vernon got it inside the 20-yard line, and I think it was Gant who might have got his hands on it.
Well, we look for Mount Vernon to come out, and of course, I think we expected Kempsville to control this game, but look at the whole center. We'll try to see who gets their hands on it. But Mike Gann, again, playing a great football game, picks up the football and rumbles down to about the 14-yard line.
A 1st and 10 for Mount Vernon. Another mistake by Kempsville. 1st and 10. In the bone. It's clock lags everywhere. Procedure for the Majors. 9.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and Mount Vernon has controlled this one. They lead at 10-0 and threatening again here. We'll wait for the official signal from Charlie Clough, the referee. Here comes procedure. Mount Vernon. Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
I was going to say Mount Vernon has no reason to get away from their offensive game plan. They're just coming out, going to run the same way they ran in the first half.
From the 18-yard line, 1st and 15. Frank Smith, the keeper. Will pitch. Woody Wright inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. And there was Grant Mott, the right side defensive end, coming over.
We talked many times about how well this Kempsville team strings it out. Now, Frank Smith does a great job of holding on to the football to the very last moment. We can see Christie stringing it out, and he pitches the ball. Woody Wright takes it back down. Grant Mott coming over to make the tackle, but tremendous move on Smith's part to hang on to that football.
Gain of 9, and it'll be 2nd and 6. There's the give to Lee Proctor, and Proctor gets to the 5-yard line for 4 more. He'll be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 1. Steve Peters and Tim Freeman, the defensive tackles, closing the gap in the middle. And Mount Vernon knocking at the door again with a 3rd down call coming up.
They can get a first down, Mac, without going into the end zone. They can take it over the 4-yard line, 1st and 10. About 2.5 yards.
Bo Francis is going to be a receiver to the right side, and Mike Gant tied in on the left. The wishbone again, 3rd down and 2. Look at the defense by Kempsville spread out. And the handoff to Proctor, and it's going to be close to the first down. Steve Peters and Tim Freeman and Bob Davis all combining for the Kempsville Chiefs. And let's wait and see. They're going to mark the ball at the 4-yard line, and that's going to be about a yard short of the first down for the Majors. 4-down territory, definitely. They have a 10-0 lead, 7:30 left to go, and the rain coming down a little harder now.
Just about a yard to pick it up. I think Bruce Patrick wants to call time and think about it a little bit. They'll burn their timeouts to talk over exactly what they want to do. A field goal will put them up 13-0.
And with the timeout, Ken, we'll take a break, too. The Majors have a 10-0 lead, 7:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back. A 4th down play coming for Mount Vernon against Kempsville. It's a 4th and 1 at 4, and they have a 10-0 lead already. Following the timeout, Frank Smith, the quarterback. Proctor, Wright, and Tom Horn in the backfield in the wishbone. The give, 2nd man through, Wright. That's going to be close. Woody Wright, the tailback, falling down close to the 3. Kempsville, of course, saying that he did not get it. Steve Peters, a defensive tackle. It's exactly what Kempsville needs. Mount Vernon, with another touchdown, I would say here, Ken, would really be tough for Kempsville to overcome with the weather and the conditions, and especially that they haven't thrown the football all that much. Let's take a look at the measurement. They held him. They held him. So the Chiefs will get the ball back and have it 1st and 10 at the 4-yard line.
From Bruce Patrick's standpoint, I wonder why he decided to run that ball up the middle, especially the strength of that Kempsville line. However, even though they did not make that first down, they're in pretty good shape there on the 4-yard line. Kempsville running with a wet football. The rain has picked up again. I'm not sure they've lost anything by going for that first down.
Cinnabog and Whittier, the tight ends for Benham, the quarterback, with Ramsey and T.J. Morgan. And Benham on a keeper. Didn't fool a soul. It'll be noted. Maybe he got back to the line of scrimmage at the 4 to the middle of the football field. There was Neil Hamilton, the right side defensive end.
Big league play by Hamilton. Stayed at home. Gil Benham, capable of running the football. Runs the fake to Morgan. That comes outside. Now watch Hamilton stay at home. Straightens him up and gets a lot of help from inside.
That was actually a good fake by Vernon, the quarterback.
It certainly was.
6'1" senior. 6:30 to go third quarter. His team trailing 10-0. From the 4 again, 2nd and 10. Morgan, the handoff, and guess who? Chris Anderson, the defensive end. Rick Goolsby, the linebacker. And there was just no protection at all for T.J. Morgan. A gain of 1 of the 5. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Back, it looks like Mount Vernon has really gotten their act together defensively, and we all expected Kempsville to come in and really take over. And to me, that Mount Vernon is asserting themselves.
Play coming in.
Kempsville only 2 for 5 and 3rd down, picking up a 1st down.
5:56 to go in the third quarter. And it's a 10-0 lead for Mount Vernon, and Benham will have to throw. The left-hander puts it up. Had a man open, but a penalty marker is down, and it may be pass interference against Scott Zimmerman in the corner. And that'll be a 15-yarder and a 1st down for Kempsville if that's the case. Let's wait and see. Zimmerman was protesting a little bit. It's going to be a holding call, defensive holding, against the Majors. 5:45 to go in the third quarter. And somebody was shining on Kempsville there. So the Chiefs get a break. They'll get the 1st down, and let's see if we can pick it up, Ken.
We'll try to catch it. I saw Whittier being held. Zimmerman had just come off of him. Not much we can tell from that angle, but Scott Zimmerman guilty of the holding call.
From the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Needing something to happen. Morgan, the handoff, the hole. Morgan to the 25, and they'll have the 1st down to the 31-yard line as he gains for 11. Michael Gann on the tackle. T.J. Morgan. Not really all that much blocking, but he was just doing it all on his own.
Well, Mac, when you say no blocking, when you take into account that Schwarzenhuber, Hicks, O'Hara all up front, look at the size of those guys, and T.J. Morgan didn't gain 1,500 yards by sitting back and waiting for things to happen. Good balance. He's fighting for extra yards.
1st and 10, 31-yard line. Forbes. Receiver is split wide to the left. Morgan, a handoff. Loose football on a fumble. And I believe, let's see, and a scramble for it. Let's wait and see. Mount Vernon thought they had it, but I think, yes, Centerbook, I believe the tight end fell on it, and that's going to be a gain of 8.
The big tackle.
Ron Conyers. Yeah, Conyers got it.
That could be the biggest play of the game for Kempsville. He's hit. The ball is loose. Now Ron picks this ball up, number 78, and he's on it. Big break for Kempsville.
You bet. It'll be a 2nd and 2 from the 38-yard line instead of 1st and 10 for the Majors. So Kempsville with a 2nd and short. Morgan falls ahead, but he's hit behind the line. And Sean Scott, the nose guard, there to make the ankle tackle. It'll be 3rd and about 1.5 yards for the Kempsville Chiefs. You know, Kenny, we have so many big 3rd and 4th down plays in this game.
This is a big one for Kempsville, I will tell you this, and I can probably guarantee you that they're not going to throw the football. If they're not going to throw it at 3rd and 8, probably not at 3rd and 1.5.
You're guessing T.J. Morgan off tackle?
It could be a good guess. I'm not sure.
3rd down and about 2. Instead, Benham keeps. Benham falls ahead. Maybe short. That's going to be close. There was John Rimashevsky, the linebacker. Terrell Wilson, a backup right tackle also for Mount Vernon. And the officials want to take a look at it. I think he's going to be about half the football short. It'll be 4th and short.
This is going to be a very close call, but regardless of that, I'll be surprised if Coach O'Hagan does not go for it. Actually, a half a foot. Big play. What do? Do you take your chances at this point and go for the 1st down?
I would say so. Count on your defense to do the trick again and go for it. You've got to. You're down 10-0, third quarter, and 3:57 to go, and there's no tomorrow.
Absolutely.
The football season ends today, one way or the other.
Coach O'Hagan, 32 years at the helm as a head coach, 218 wins, 87 assists, 18 ties. Quite a record.
And he got there by decisions like this one. 4th and short. The sneak, Benham. I believe he got it.
He should have
saying
it.
no, but
Well, again, we go back to the placement, don't we? One guy's got to place that football down, and that makes it all turn.
Kempsville is saying no problem. They've got it. Yes, 1st down. The football on on the 4-yard line of Kempsville, and they'll keep the drive alive. It started on the 4-yard line. A major penalty on a 3rd down, a defensive holding call against Mount Vernon kept the drive alive on 3rd down. And now, Gil Benham with 1st and 10 at the 41. Ramsey and T.J. Morgan, the running backs. It's T.J. No, Benham keeps. Benham gets about 3 to the 4. John Remishevsky again. A junior, 210-pounder. Making thunder when he goes after a running back.
Remishevsky, 5'10", 210 pounds. A real tough kid. Only a junior is going to be back next year. Not bad reasoning on the part of Coach Gahagan in using Benham in these situations. They're so intense and so keen on Morgan that he could probably pick up. Of course, Benham could probably pick up 6 or 7 yards on the outside.
Center ball tight end on this side. The wide receiver is Fouts, but Morgan, the handoff straight up the gut. No gain. It'll be 3rd down and about 6. Remishevsky again. No, Rick Goolsby, the linebacker. At that position, 5'11", good situation to be in. Next, the linebackers coming back. Well,
Coach Patrick, to the semifinals last year, actually finished up. He got into the playoff by winning official games at anywhere this year, but well,
they have it for Kempsville Hill here. Bennett Keeper did not fool anybody, including the cornerback who went after Benham, and it'll be a 4th and 7. No gain on the play. Tucked it. Scott in the other corner came over to help Scott. So with a minute, 3rd quarter will happen. They trail on Vernon 10-0. All in the 1st quarter today. On a rainy afternoon on the campus of Dominion. There we get a shot of Bruce Papp, head coach of Mount Vernon.
The coach had not really left. Of course, the last 5 years really turned the program on.
Centerbolt standing at the good snap. That one is partially, but it will bounce at the 47-yard line to the Mount Vernon. Lance Doty got a 4-minute break with a minute 50. A 10-0 lead in the Class 3 game will return. Vernon will have it 1st and 10, 34-yard line, 10-0 the advantage for the Majors with a minute 15 to go in the 3rd quarter. And I would think right now the Majors are considering ball control and nothing else. Take the clock away from Kempsville. The wishbone again, Frank Smith. 2nd man through, Woody Wright, nothing. Tackled at the 35-yard line. There was Grant Mott, the right side defensive end. On a good one-on-one play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. For the Majors, and Woody Wright has got to make a shoe adjustment.
Grant Mott's a good play here. As I said many times in this broadcast, that defensive line plays so well. Look at him break through, make the tackle. Woody Wright playing because of their great back. Paul Fisher was injured last week in the semifinals, and of course they've got a few signs up saying win this one for Fisher. And
Frank Smith will keep it again, and he tries to pitch it to Woody Wright. Not one of the better decisions by Frank Grandmont again on the play. He had that defense very well. It'll be a loss of a couple, I believe, back to the 33, and it's going to be 2nd down and 12, Kent.
Well, this is one of those decisions that if you're going to make a bad one, make it close to the sidelines, because Frank Smith decides at the last moment to let it go. And, of course, he's only got about a foot distance between he and Woody Wright, and luckily for Mount Vernon, the ball pops out of bounds.
And if I said 2nd down, I mean 3rd down. 3rd down and 12. Clock ticking away in the 3rd stanza here. 34 seconds left to go. 10-0. Mount Vernon with the lead. We have another period to go. Smith wants to throw on 3rd down. Under pressure. Unloads. Incomplete. Across the way at the 40-yard line. Intended for Michael Gant. Mike Morris, the left side corner, coveted for Kempsville. And Mount Vernon will have to give it back to the Chiefs, as Morris will drop back in single and wait for it.
Pretty smart play on Frank Smith's part, throwing that ball out of bounds. Actually, you've got to be a little creative in the wishbone to get people out. They sent the back in motion that time, Tom Horn, to get him out and make him another receiver. They had 2 guys running square outs, really. But Kempsville had it picked up very well.
Kempsville is setting up for the return here. Sumler to get it away, and a pretty good kick. Morris will take it, 32-yard line. Morris, much running room. Gets about 4 of the yards back to the 37. Dorman and Gant downfield to make the play on Michael Morris. And 1st and 10 at the 38 for Kempsville. 16 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. A 35-yard punt by Sumler. Kempsville needs 10 points. This drive is important as we get right as the 3rd quarter. The I formation. Again, Ramsey and T.J. Morgan. Morgan, the handoff, met at the line of scrimmage by the Mount Vernon front line, and there was Sean Scott. Sean Scott with a waist-high tackle, and the third quarter comes to a close. The Majors still have a 10-0 lead, and we'll be back with a final period following this. Stay with us. Bruce Patrick looking on of Mount Vernon. Talking some defense now, and Coach Gahagan
somewhere in that pile is in there. There he is, pointing out there. What does Coach Gahagan do? He's got to put the ball up a little bit.
And he does, and Cinnabon, the tight end, has got the completion as Vernon put it right on the numbers. And that's going to be close to the 50-yard line of the 49, good for 11 yards as Gouldsby and Rimashevsky, the linebackers, combine on the tackle. Cinnabon just got open, and it'll be enough for a first down. But a penalty flag has been dropped back at the line of scrimmage. And let's wait. 11:53 left to go. That was the opening play of the fourth period. Mount Vernon with a 10-0 lead over Kempsville. By the way, in the AA game, at the half, Cortland leading George Wythe 17-7. And in the third, Perry McClure 7, Madison 6.
I've just written bad for you. That's all I've done.
7-7. Oh, okay.
7-7. Two great games around this part of the state. Here we go. This is a drag pattern, as they call it. They're bringing the tight end back across the flow of the action. That's the first completion today for Gil Benham, but unfortunately brought back.
The holding call, and it means another passation. Benham looks long, and it's going to be almost intercepted, incomplete at the 40-yard line. And there was Gant.
That was not a good throw by Gil Benham, putting that ball up really for anybody.
Gant made the play. Joe Briggs, the intended receiver. The left-hander, Benham.
There's Benham putting the ball up really with not much on it. Cinnabon out there, but all reception for Mike Gant.
Scott Whittier, the tight end, is now in for Kempsville.
My opinion, short, quick passes, a back across the middle. Use your backs.
Third down and 25, and a football at the 24-yard line for Kempsville. It just doesn't get any easier for them. They trail 10-0. Benham on a reverse. Briggs wants to throw and puts it up. Battling for Whittier. It's going to be Whittier feeling he was interfered with, but there was Michael Gant making a play for Mount Vernon, incomplete at the 48-yard line. Mike Gant.
Very impressive defensive play by Mike Gant, because I think everybody in the stadium was fooled except Mike Gant. Again, this is the same guy. They're running the reverse now, coming around. They give the ball to Briggs, who could wind up playing quarterback next year. Gets himself out. He's a left-handed passer, of course. And there is Mike Gant there. Bruce Cinnabon thought he was interfered with, but I think it was a good play.
Looked like a battle for a rebound. 11:26 to go in the game. And Cinnabon will have to kick it away. Getting back, it was Cortland and George Wythe tied at 7. And that's at the half. Cinnabon, a low kick. It will hit at the 50 and roll to the 45, and it'll be dead at the 41-yard line. So Mount Vernon with pretty good field position. And a penalty flag has been dropped, and we'll talk about it when we come back with 11:17 to play in the 3A championship game from Foreman Field in Norfolk. We'll be right back following this. Bruce Cinnabon had a 35-yard punt for Kempsville, but a personal whistled against Mount Vernon, so the line of scrimmage instead the 41. Back to the 26-yard line, and that's where the Majors will take over. They have a 10-0 lead. And again, repeating all the scoring in the first quarter. A John Gould field goal, 27 yards, and a Frank Smith 6-yard touchdown run, and that's been it. Capitalizing on 2 Kempsville fumbles. First and 10, 26. Woody Wright, nothing. He'll get about 3, but it was bottled up. Steve Peters, the defensive tackle. Matt Leeds, an inside linebacker, combining on a stop. They give him actually a gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6. I thought they were going to stop his progress back almost close to the line of scrimmage.
Well, it looked like he stopped his own progress before he got to the line of scrimmage. You know, one of the problems that Bruce Patrick has to be aware of and look out for at this point is don't become so conservative that pretty soon all you're doing is covering up the football and giving the team a chance to go for another touchdown. I think that Kempsville's got to start putting the ball in the air with a little bit more consistency and go after it.
29-yard line, second down and 6. Smith on the keeper. tries to cut it up, and he'll get about 3 or 4. Steve Peters, a defensive tackle, stayed with him and made the tackle. And it'll be a third down and around 3 or 4 yards after they mark the football. Clock running, and we'll keep an eye on it because it becomes important if you're with Kempsville today. 10 minutes, 17 seconds left to go in the 3A championship game. Ken, while we've got a chance, too, I want to thank the sports production crew of the league. Well, what a job these guys today, and the else in the weather. Third penalty flag dropping, and I don't believe play a game. I believe somebody lined up on.
They must have on the line.
Procedure, slap Ken. And a third down instead of third.
Now that changes the play a little bit.
A little bit.
They're not afraid to put the ball. Now Schwartzentruber coming out of the ball game from Kempsville. Dankmeyer back in to their original defensive back. Out for most of Schwartzentruber in the middle.
Here we go, third down play. And up the middle, Woody Wright. A couple. Steve Peters and Tim Freeman are defensive tackles, just closing it in the middle, and it'll be a fourth down situation, another punting situation for the Majors, and Kempsville will get its hands back on the football with 9:20 to go, and Mike Morris dropping back in the vicinity of the 35-yard line, and a really quick punt coming from Mount Vernon. Mike Morris turned around, the ball was sailing towards him, the safety, and he gets away, and it rolls to the 30. And it'll be first and 10, 30-yard line, Kempsville. We'll have it right there with 9:05 to play in the football game. A 10-0 Mount Vernon lead.
Bruce Patrick's going to make Kempsville come after the football. That's a 33-yard punt.
Surprisingly enough, we had talked about the offenses maybe against the defenses today would be able to move it, but the Dukes have dominated, especially Mount Vernon's. And Kempsville now with a first and 10. At the 30. Benham, play action pass, looking to throw. Intended receiver, Centerbolt. Ball knocked in the air, intercepted by Remishevsky, the linebacker of Mount Vernon. And he'll fall down at the 40, I believe the 42-yard line on the tip. Remishevsky ended up with it. And I believe it was Goolsby, the linebacker, Michael Gant possibly, who tipped the ball in the air. They were all in the neighborhood, but Remishevsky came up with the catch.
Big play by John Remishevsky. Of course, Kempsville trying to get back in the ball game. Again, trying to hit that little drag pattern. They go with their play-action fake. They pull the tackle in front, Chris Francis, and he puts it up again too high. Good play by Mike Gant. Yes, it was. John Remishevsky, he's there, picks up the ball. Another big play for Mount Vernon.
Line of scrimmage, 4-yard line for Mount Vernon, 42 of Kempsville with 8:23 to go. A costly turnover. There have been 5. Fumble, and Kempsville got it right back. Frank Smith never had it. And coming up with it was Grant Mott, the right defensive end for the Chiefs.
Getting a little sloppy right now. This game is not out of reach of first Kempsville by any stretch of the imagination.
How many breaks are they going to get today?
Well, I tell you, Franks did not look like he was aware that ball was on the ground because he didn't look very concerned about it.
The 43-yard line on Kempsville, first and 10 for Gil Benham. Briggs, a wide receiver to this side. I formation. Play fake to Morgan. Benham will have to keep it. Benham for 4 or 5. And there was Neil Hamilton, a defensive. John Remishevsky again, the linebacker. It'll be second down, let's call it 5.5, with 7:42 to go in the third quarter, and Kempsville needs at least 10.
That would have been a great run had you been ahead or had the ball game been even, but you've got to put the ball up. And this is what happens when you're not used to throwing the football. You're running the same pattern time after time, and pretty soon the defensive team doesn't have to be very smart in figuring it out.
7.5 minutes left of the football season. The pro set by Benham. First time we've seen it from Kempsville. Rollout looking for the man out of the backfield, T.J. Morgan. He could not come up with it. It's incomplete. Covering was Rick Goolsby, the linebacker. A little behind T.J.
Would have been a good catch had T.J. made that, but they're the catches you got to come up with at this time of the ball game. Interesting fact, 13 ball games now that they've played, one time a back has gotten a pass reception. One time in 13 games.
Excellent point.
0 for 5 for Gil Benham. 2 interceptions, not what you would call a stellar day.
5 turnovers for Kempsville today. They trail 10-0. A third down and 6. Staring him in the eye here at the 47-yard line. Benham has to throw, has time. The man is there. Centerbolt tied in. And he'll have the first down in Mount Vernon territory to the 42-yard line. And that one was on the numbers. Michael made the tackle for the Majors. First and 10 from the Mount Vernon 42. 6:53 to go in a football game. Benham, play action pass. Tucks, runs, breaks a tackle. Falls inside the 40. And to the 37-yard line where Scott Dorman, the cornerback, came up to make the hit. It'll be second down and 5.5 yards for the Kempsville Chiefs. And the clock is running. 6.5 minutes left to go in the Class 3A championship game from Norfolk's Foreman Field. Joe Briggs, the second yearman, the sophomore, 160-pounder, split wide right. Benham wants to throw the play action again. Will have to run. He'll get 3, and it'll be third down and 5, or 4, I should say. John Rimashevsky, the linebacker, the hit, and Lance Doty, the right tackle, who's a 218-pound junior. And it's third down, and let's call it 4.
This has been a tough situation for Kempsville all day long. They have not been very successful in converting their third down situation. Early in the week, they had talked about trying to get their wide receiver deep on a flag pattern because Mount Vernon had to cover with a safety from the inside, thinking that they could run down, run off our back, and cut to the outside and have a chance. They're trying to hit that pattern. Mount Vernon is making a very good adjustment to it.
More like third and 5. Benham, play action again. Looking for Whittier, the tight end, instead to Cinnabrook, and it's incomplete. Cinnabrook could not get it incomplete at the 15-yard line of Mount Vernon. And it comes down to a fourth down call for the Chiefs, and I'm sure they're going to have to run something with 5:24 to go in the game, and they trail 10-0. This drive is of the importance for Kempsville here. It's really the drive of the game for them. They have got to get something on the board to try to get back in it.
Absolutely. They've called a timeout. Coach Gahagan going out to talk to his Kempsville team. Needless to say,
we're going to take a break, Ken, and we'll be back with 5:24 to go third quarter. It's 10-0. The lead, Mount Vernon. 5 minutes, 24 seconds left. Ken and I will be picking most valuable players from both teams for the Coca-Cola MVP trophy. A fourth down and 4.5 yards. Benham to throw to Whittier, the tight end. Whittier tries to find the first down marker, and I'm not sure he got it. I don't think he got the first down. And for Mount Vernon, Lance Doty, the right tackle, I believe held him back, and so did Bill Brady, the left tackle. Brady, as a junior, had a broken leg. Came back this year, has had just an outstanding season. The mark appears to be a good one for Kempsville.
32 years as head coach.
See.
A lot of that riding on this measurement.
And it's going to be short. First down, Mount Vernon. Kempsville could not convert. And when they say it's a game of inches, it is. With 5:14 to go and a 10-0 lead for Mount, they get the football back at the 33-yard line.
Good call, really, in that situation. Screen to the tight end. What tremendous defensive play by Mount Vernon.
We're at the 5-minute mark. Frank Smith, the quarterback, taking his time. I think Frank is ready for a hot shot. 10. Mount Vernon wants to throw. Puts it up in the air, and it's incomplete now. Ken, you explain that one to me, will you?
I can't explain it.
Why throw the football? 10-0 to lead deep in your own territory, and it was almost picked off.
Well, it's no doubt about it. It would be the ultimate cross-up if you were trying to defense it, because I would have never thought that he'd throw it. Again, the same pattern to Summer he's been throwing earlier in the game. Warren Christie gets up almost in a spot, and he could have walked in if he had caught that ball on the run. I don't think at this point Bruce Patrick wants to be that clever.
Warren Christie will be talking about that one on the beach this summer, because that could have been a big, big, big play. Now the keeper by Smith. That's a little smarter. A couple of yards. Grant Mott, the right side defensive end. It'll be third down and 8 from the 35-yard line. It's so easy for us to sit up here and criticize. You know, look at the coaches and what they're doing. They didn't get here by listening to second guessers, that's for sure. 4.5 minutes left.
They got there by having a bunch of good players that go out there and hit people.
Execution.
Both of them did, and they've done a good job of putting them together. At this point, I don't think you can fold your 10 if you're Mount Vernon. You got to still keep running your offense and keep coming after them. You don't want to give Kempsville as many chances as possible to score.
Kempsville showing blitz, but the play goes to the outside. The leader, Proctor, will not have the first down. He gets about 5. It'll be 4th down and about 3. Mike Morris, the left side corner, made the play first. And with 4:09 or 4:10 left to go in the game, a 10-0 Mount Vernon lead. And Kempsville again will get its hands on a football as Mike Morris drops back in single safety at the Chiefs' 25-yard line.
If you had your druthers, you would rather your back not go out of bounds at that point. 4:10 left in the game.
Snap is good. Right to Sumler's belt. Wobbly kick. Morris to catch, 30-yard line. Morris will get only a couple. Good coverage by Mount Vernon. And Rick Goolsby, who plays linebacker. And we're going to take a break with 4:02 to go as it's a 10-0 lead for Mount Vernon in the Class 3A championship game. And we'll be right back after this. And 2 seconds left in the football season for these two schools. Kempsville trailing 10-0. Mount Vernon. All the scoring in the first quarter today. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line for the Chiefs. Benham has to go up. Looking, and he makes the catch. Joe Briggs. And a penalty flag had been dropped. Goolsby, the linebacker, possibly interfering with Briggs. Let's see where they mark it. I believe it's going to be the 47-yard line.
Big catch by Joe Briggs. If they allow it to stand, the Mount Vernon players say it's against them. It's against Mount Vernon. Again, all year long, they've been a running team. Now the game comes down to this. Great pass protection. Gil Benham really throws a high ball out there. He goes up. Joe Briggs makes a great catch. Scott Zimmerman cannot knock it down.
All right, it was Zimmerman and not Goolsby, and it was a 27-yard pass play. And it is 1st and 10 for Kempsville with 3 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in the title game.
We were talking earlier, Mac, you've got to run your offense. You cannot keep giving the ball back to Kempsville and letting them try to score.
Chiefs, play action pass to Briggs again in the flat. Fumble, but I believe Troy Ramsey got it back for Kempsville. And there was Remashevsky, the linebacker, and Neil Hamilton, the defensive end. For Mount Vernon, 3:27 left to go in the game.
Again, this looked like a hitch pattern, but it was really a play designed to blow the ball downfield. Now, Briggs is trying to set up and hit Centerbalk downfield. Cannot get his hands on the ball. Unfortunately, he's brought down right there.
Loss of 3 yards. Midfield strike to 50. Play action pass again by Benham. The left-hander puts it up. Incomplete. Intended for Jeff Fout. Incomplete at the 27-yard line. And there was Scott Zimmerman in the corner also. Michael Gant, the strong side.
Not to overuse the criticism and not trying to be too critical of Gil Benham, but Gil is not putting any zip on the ball. He's leaving the ball up in the air for too long a period of time and trying to go too deep at this point. He had his tight end, Whittier, coming across the middle, could have hit him for a quick 10-yard gain, and nevertheless he throws downfield for a possible interception.
The Kempsville Chiefs wishing and hoping here. Nothing, the Mount Vernon lead. 3 minutes left to go in the football game. A 3rd down call in 15. Incomplete, intended for Briggs, and he can't get it at the 35-yard line. So now a 4th and 15, and Kempsville will have to do it again.
Well, I promise you, Gil Benham can throw better than what he's throwing right now, and I've seen him throw better during the of the year. But he has not gotten the ball down. That ball intended really for Scott Whittier almost, of course, had him decapitated when he went up for the ball.
Play coming from Coach Gahagan. Jeff Fout to bring it in to Benham, the QB. We'll be selecting our most valuable player award in just a little bit. Benham is 4 of 12, 2 interceptions, and one of the biggest pass plays of his young career. 4th down and 15. Pump fake, the bomb. Knocked down by Mount Vernon at the 20-yard line. Centerbalk, the intended receiver, fouled also in the pattern. Joe Sumler, the free safety, one of the players back, and so with Scott Zimmerman, the cornerback, and that'll give the football back to Mount Vernon with 2:49 to go. And Kempsville, with any of it all, would have to get the football back right away. I mean, right.
They've got to get the ball back, as you say, Mac, right away. And not only do they have to get it back, they'd have to score with very little time going off the clock. You know, not to overuse the point, but play-action pass on 3rd and 4th down is pretty meaningless unless you've got short yardage situation. You know, trying to throw the ball down the middle of the field to pick up a touchdown at this point doesn't make really much difference.
Frank Smith, the quarterback, to Woody Wright for 4 to the 45 line of Kempsville. And a couple of the Chiefs getting up in the bottom of the pile. There was Matt Leeds, the inside linebacker, made the initial hit. Clock running, 2:34, 2:33. Joe ticks down.
Joe Summer just came into the ball game, and I saw him do his hands, and the situation settled down. Let's just run this ball out, and we'll kick it and not worry about it. Make them score. Let's don't make the big mistake.
The wishbone again. Smith, the handoff, and the hole open for Tom Horn. And Tom Horn inside the 35-yard line of the Kempsville 34. Well, that opened quickly, and that's good for 11 yards on a first down for Mount Vernon.
Tom Horn, a good-looking back. I said earlier that he was 6 foot, 185 pounds. He looks a little bit bigger than 185 pounds. Got pretty good speed. He almost broke that. In fact, if he'd have gotten past that last hand tackle, he'd have been gone.
We really have to, by the way, Tinkler made the tackle for Kempsville. Joe Tinkler, the safety. We have got a pretty tough assignment trying to select the players of the games. Offensively, not so much offensively, but for Mount Vernon and for Kempsville. And it could very easily be 2 defensive players. In the first period, John Gould, with 6:45 to go, hit a 27-yard field goal. Mount Vernon capitalized on a fumble, led 3-0. Kempsville fumbled again, and Frank Smith moved the team. And his 17th touchdown a year came at 3:15 in the first period, and it was 10-0 in the first quarter. As we said, with 3:15 left to go, and that was about it. $1:39 left to go. A 10-0 Mount Vernon lead, and they're that far away from the 3A championship. Tom Horn, a couple. Matt Leeds, an inside linebacker, with Joe Tinkler, the safety. And Kempsville will take a timeout with 1:31 left.
At this point in the game, I don't know if there's much use, but nevertheless, they've never given up. Kempsville has been in this situation, not exactly at this point, but nevertheless, they have been down late in the ball game and came back several times.
Ken, our players of the game, we're proud to announce the Coca-Cola MVP trophies. Steve Peters of Kempsville, defensive tackle, and for Mount Vernon, the linebacker, Romashevsky, who went both ways, also on the off-line. Congratulations to those players.
2 great choices, really.
We had to go with the defense, I think, today.
Well, I agree with you, Mac, and of course that whole defensive line of Kempsville was very impressive, and with the mistakes early in the ball game, they capitalized on them. From that point on, it was a very even game, but Mount Vernon came out in the second half, looked like they played with a little bit more intensity.
A 9-game winning streak coming into this for Mount Vernon. They're about ready to make it 10. They lost their 4th game of the year, the only blemish. Lee Proctor gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 35-yard line, with 1:24 and the clock running.
And that's the last timeout called by Kempsville.
Tim Freeman and Matt Leeds, inside linebackers. Or Tim Freeman, the defensive tackle, leads the inside backer. But again, congratulations to Romashevsky, a linebacker for Mount Vernon, and also defensive tackle Steve Peters of Kempsville. Coca-Cola MVP trophy winners today.
You know, Mac, they don't get a chance very often to be players of the game.
No, that's right.
You know,
You're right.
They very seldom ever get selected, so they're probably happy at this point that we had miserable weather. Coming into
it was
this
not the nicest of days. That's right. We have seen a lot better weather than this, that's for sure.
Well, there were still a turnout, and close to 8,000 to 10,000 people showed up for this game, and I mean they braved some bad elements because very bitter, very cold out there, and the wind was up most of the day.
Thanks again to the Virginia High School League for helping Sports Productions put this on. Ken, it's been fun. Hope we get a chance to do it again real soon.
I'd love to. These are tremendous events.
Mount Vernon cruising on a 0 lead, still running the offense on a 3rd and 10, and Woody Wright Gets 5 before Joe Tinkler, the safety, and Pete Catalano, the outside linebacker, combining on that stop. It'll be a 4th down call with 1:09 left to go. And Kempsville with no timeouts left. I don't think they have any timeouts left. And Mount Vernon will play, and that'll be it. Clock for seconds. And Mount Vernon last play of 1983 right here. And a 4th down call goes to Woody Wright by Joe T. And Bill will put a field. They have 39 seconds left to get on a 4th down call. Kempsville will get a crack at it, trailing 10. Several opportunities and big breaks. They have them offensively with them, but can overcome the Mount Vernon defense. The story. The major. Everything Kempsville tried, Mount Vernon had 2 or 3 players there to stop it. Benham to throw. Caught.
I'm not sure who that ball was intended for. Joe Briggs came up with a reception, but looked like it was intended for Scott Whittier, the tight end, and the ball simply floated as it has all day on Gil Benham, and he came up with a reception. 23 seconds left in the ball game. You do not have to be very smart to figure out what the defensive backs are going to do for Mount Vernon.
Well, they're dropping 4 and 5 people back, and that was a gain to the 44-yard line. It was enough for a 1st down for Kempsville with 23 seconds left to go. Benham, again, the play-action pass, looking to Briggs again. Briggs can't hang on, incomplete at the 38 line of Mount Vernon. That stops the clock with 15 seconds left to go. And Kempsville will have a 2nd down and 10 from their 44.
Gill has not completed many balls today, but Bruce Sinnebalk has been the target of most of those balls that have been thrown, either Sinnebalk or Whittier. Again, ball coming at a looping angle, allowing the defensive back to get over and break it up. The Mount Vernon team beginning to show a little emotion. They know the game is close here. They've got it in the pocket. Big play.
Benham being roughed up with 8 seconds left and the clock running down. The countdown has started for the majors of Mount Vernon, and they will wrap up the 1983 Class 3A championship as they celebrate across the way. So Mount Vernon wrapping up the state title against Kempsville, and the final was 10-0.
You think it makes any difference what league you play in when you win a championship? It doesn't make any difference whether it's the Super Bowl or your high school championship. That's pure emotion right there. These kids have worked very hard since the early part of August, and they deserve a lot of credit. So does the Kempsville Ball Club.
It has been a very long year. Frank Smith did not play in the 4th game of the year for Mount Vernon. He sat out, and W.T. Woodson beat him 20-0. But Mount Vernon came back, reeled off the winning streak, and a 10-0 lead. And you talk about defeat and something you want very badly, Kenny. Bruce Sinnebalk, the tight end, who gave it his all today.
You know, when you get down to this point in the season, it's a 50-50 chance, really, when you go on that field that you're gonna win that ball game. Disappointment is that much more.
So the majors are the champions, and we'll return to Foreman Field in Norfolk after this. Well, it's over, and Mount Vernon wins the 3A championship at Foreman Field. The MVPs, Romashevsky, and also Steve Peters at Kempsville.
I think they were good choices, quite frankly, Mac. You know, it's very difficult. You usually come into a game like this, you're talking about offensive people being your most valuable players. But in this weather, and believe me, it's bitter out here, these kids deserve a lot of credit. The defensive line of Kempsville, I was extremely impressed with. They played hard all day. They were in at all times on top of the quarterback. Some big breaks made the difference. Romashevsky, gee whiz, we said 5'10", 210 pounds. Well, he may be not that big, but he's all over the field and he'll hit you.
Well, it was one of those days, too, where Ken said they had to battle the weather as well as the offenses had to try to do something against the defenses. We said at the top of the broadcast it would be a defensive game, and yes, it was.
Well, it was really a case of the ineffectiveness, quite frankly, of the Kempsville passing attack. They came out, Mount Vernon came out in the second half, I thought really took command of the, defensively of the ball game. And the passing attack for Kempsville was not very sharp. The ball was not being thrown very well. I think that they had a little bit too much repetition in their routes.
I also think the fact it was a great showcase for Virginia high school football.
Oh, it was a tremendous showcase. You know, this is a wonderful event. And we're very grateful to have the opportunity to be in on the inaugural, I know, and we thank Coke and we thank the Virginia High School League.
And it's time for a lot of us to get dry, and thanks to the Virginia High School League again, and everybody on the crew did such a great job for this telecast. The winners, 10-0 over Kempsville in the Class 3A championship game. The senior executive producer of today's game was Russ Potts. Executive producer Keith Sample. Coordinating producer Jimmy Rayburn. The SPI coordinator of high school activities is John Humphrey. Jimmy Williams produced and directed today's game. Technical director Paul Hummel. Associate director Pete Duda. The graphics operator was Cindy Simone. And you see the rest of a very fine crew. Today's game was brought to you by your Coca-Cola bottler. For the most refreshing taste around, Coke is it. And by your neighborhood 7-Eleven store, the proud sponsor of the 1984 Olympics. So again, the final, Mount Vernon makes it 9 in a row on the winning streak, and they beat Kempsville 10-0 to wrap up the Virginia High School League championship game at Foreman Field in the campus of Old Dominion. I hope next year, when they put a championship game together, Ken, and we get sunshine, we'd agree.
Well, two days ago we would have had it, but I tell you, it was a great event.
Okay, Ken. For the Virginia High School League and SPI, I'm Mac McDonald, and that's it.